This is a quick tutorial on how to do cow print nail art with gel polish. So what I'm doing here is I've just painted some random shapes onto the nail and cured them in the lamp for 60 seconds. And then I am taking my dotting tool and I'm making random little cow print patches. So these don't have to be perfect. In fact, the less perfect they are, the more realistic it'll look. So I chose a gray color, an off-white, and a brown to make my cow print. And I also added in some white, of course, to make it pop a little bit. So what I'm doing here is just using my dotting tool to make those weird little shapes all over the nail. And you're pretty much going to do that on every nail, and it doesn't have to be the same. You can ask your client if they want them to look the same, but my client was cool with them looking different because if you think about it, cows don't all have the same spots everywhere. So it is going to be random. I feel like the dotting tool is easier to use than to use a nail art brush, just because you can really get that random look and you can kind of take some of the paint from the middle of your design and drag it to the outer edges just to give it a more realistic look. You can also go back over parts of the cow print so that they overlap to give it even more of a realistic look. And I'm going to speed it up here just so we can get to the end. This is such a super simple design, so it's no need to overthink it. And if you mess up, just wipe it off. You're gonna see me do that here. But yeah, just play around with it. Practice this on a practice hand or a practice finger. It's a really simple design. You can use different colors. You can do like pink and make it strawberry milk, or you can do red, you can do white, you can do a bunch of different stuff with cow print. And it's a good alternative to the more traditional nail art prints like leopard print and even the super popular snake print. And if you don't like how it's looking, the beauty of using gel polish is you can wipe it right off and you don't have to worry about it drying up or it being too sticky or it's already cured on the nail. Once it's in the light, you're kind of out of luck, but before you put it in the light, you can wipe it off as many times as you need to. And I know most people don't leave it in there when they make their mistakes, but I'm gonna leave it in there because I'm human and so are you and every nail tech. So you leave those bloopers in there sometimes just so people know that sometimes these nail art designs that come out perfect at the end, they took a little work, and sometimes you have to start over and you might make some mistakes along the way, but just keep trying. That's the main thing. So I think here's where you're going to see me wipe that off because I just wasn't feeling how it was looking. Yeah, there we go. I wasn't feeling how it was looking. So I'm going to wipe it off with some rubbing alcohol, 99% alcohol. Let that air dry, and I was going to start on the next nail while that one dries. When you use alcohol, you want to always let it dry as much as possible before you try to put gel polish on it again, because when anything mixes with the gel polish, it will have these little dips and bubbles and rivets that look really crazy on the nail. So unless that's the look you're going for, always let the nail dry completely before you attempt to put gel polish on it again. And we're just speeding through this last part. We're just adding on our spots in random places. You can even do little dots. I still try to not make the dots very round, just like one single dot. I'll put a dot down, but then I'll drag it out a little bit on the sides so it still looks like cow print. You don't want to have a bunch of dots that are perfect circles all over your cow print because that's probably not going to happen in real life. So I'm going back to the nail that I messed up and wiped off earlier, and I'm just repeating the process. I'm overlapping the browns together so that lighter brown is up under the dark brown. And I'm making some of these patches big, some of them small, some of them are really little, like a little dot like that one I just did. And I'm just trying to give it a very interesting look, but not cover the entire nail. because I want people to still see the structure of the work. I don't want to cover the whole thing up. Putting a little white. So even though we put white under part of the nail as the background, you can still do some white cow prints on top of the nail. You don't necessarily need to keep your background colors only in the background. All right, so we're done now, and we're just top coating with no wipe top coat. I will put the link in the description to the brand that I use. It is Koopa. That is what I use for matte and for glossy. And this is our finished look. We use the glossy top coat. They look amazing. They are all different. There's another view. And I hope this was helpful, and I hope you enjoyed watching this. And don't forget to like, comment, and share, and subscribe, and all of that good stuff.